So you said I, worked for a corporation, and then I guess I've always had the entrepreneurial bug, and it scratched me, or itched me, then I scratched it. And so, I was working for this company for 10 years and just felt like I had more in me than just going to work every day to check a box, if you will. I was going in and giving it my all, but it just felt like I had more in me. I was the type of person that wanted to control my own destiny. And so I just got to the point that says, look, if I don't do it now, when will I ever do it? I was at the age where I felt like if it didn't work, I could go back to what I was doing, and I was young enough to recover from that if I felt like it didn't work. But I just got to the point where I just was like, man, I need to do this now because I feel like I have it in me. I was younger in my age and had still have energy, but had a lot of energy and momentum going behind me, and I felt like that was a good time to do it. So yeah. So for me, getting into construction, sometimes you hear family members pushing their kids into a certain arena because that's what they did. That didn't happen for me. I actually enjoyed construction. Going to work with my dad when I was a young kid. I remember getting up well before he did on a Saturday morning, ready to go to work, because I was ready to go to work to a job site with him to see the action, be part of the action. And so I enjoyed the process and enjoyed the construction industry, to being out there, seeing things built. And so that's kind of how I've grown into it, and now running a business doing it. That was been something I've born and raised and enjoyed doing it. Yeah, so the business has been, in this past August, we celebrated 10 years. So yeah, we 10 years in, and it's been a fun ride, and looking back, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been one of those wildly, successful things that I've enjoyed going along. I remember looking back when I was working with him, and I would go around with him, but also see other construction companies, and that were bigger than his company. And I would always want to, hey Dad, I wish you were that big, or that type thing. And I always wanted to create a big company, whether it's through him or whatever, and wanted to create a massive company, build big structures and build things, and have the name on the side of a truck and all those other good things that when I was a little boy that I would see other construction companies growing up. That, for me, that was always a dream of mine, and to live that out, and look back on it, man, it's like a dream come true. And so, yeah. Being in the construction business, over the years, it's been a traditionally white male industry, and still today it's dominated from that. And I can count on, one hand local, in the Carolinas, of how many, large black construction companies there are. And for me, it gives me a sense of pride to know that I'm out there trying to create something that, that others can look at and go, wow, look what we can do. And to do that in the face of what are barriers that are out there, and to do it and to be a part of it, it's amazing, because, nobody's giving me anything. This is hard work, surrounding myself with the right people, and nobody can take it away at all. And just, when I look back, it's a sense of duty for me to know that I need to create something and be successful at it, because somebody's looking at me as an example of what they can do, or what they're striving to do. And I know if I go out day in, day out to create something and be successful and put in the work and be an example for someone else, if I can help somebody do that, that's for me, that's exciting. I look back, I just remember when I was sitting down starting my business, and I was looking for information to help me, but I couldn't find it readily available. And what I do know is, as I was building my business, I've been fortunate enough to have people along the way to give me advice along the way from successful people. And if I can take that advice, package it up, and give that out to someone to help them to not hit the roadblocks that some people have, or have advice to help them get to the next level, that's what I want to do, because it's all about helping people. And somebody had to help me get to where I am. And if I can provide advice, or being on panels, or talking to people and giving my perspective of something, that's what I want to do. Because if I can help somebody that has a dream to start their own company, somebody that looks like me, that have a dream of doing that, and if I can help them do that, that's what I'm here to do, and excited to do it and willing to do it, and I'll do it every day. My little son, he's 9 years old, and but what I will say is, having him around the business, I realized that it's helping him get access to something that most people don't have. I take him to meetings with me. This dude will put on a suit and say, I'm ready to go to a meeting. But I know that's preparing him for when he goes out into the real world. He knows how to communicate with people. He knows how to sit in a meeting. He knows how a meeting's conducted. He knows how to interact with people. And what I realized, that access that he has will have him so prepared beyond his age that if I can do that, that's just that's what's exciting for me, to see him in that role. He might not understand the whole construction piece and what it is and what it's not, but what he does understand is, I'm going to a meeting, I need to dress up, I'm gonna take some notes, and we're gonna talk about after that meeting what he learned. I always say, once you reach a certain level, you don't stop. It's the whole thing is, when is enough enough? Enough is not ever enough. I remember when I started my business, I was like, if I get to $1 million in revenue or whatever, I'll be good. Man, that was a short vision. And actually, looking at it, it was selfish because if I'm just doing that, who am I going to help? I can't create opportunities if I'm just limiting myself. I can't build a business if I'm just limiting myself or limiting the companies. For over the next 10 years is to continue developing myself as a leader, to become more engaged in the community, more engaged in the business, from the standpoint of leadership and working on the business versus in the business. We have some big goals for our company that we've strategically planned out for the next 10 years. And we want to march on down the southeast corridor of the southeast, but also continue to go strong in the markets that we currently serve and to further reinforce those, so we can create opportunities for other people in our organization that are coming to our organization. Organizations, they're not providing growth for their people, the organization won't grow. So we're going to continue to provide opportunities for our teammates so they can grow, and that will in turn grow our organization to allow us to fulfill our strategic goals out. It's the whole thing of control what you can control. I can control a few things. One is my body, my mind, what I say, how I react. And for me, the gym is my therapy, going in there to work out. It's also doing a couple things. One is a decompression thing, to get in there and really train my body. But I know I'm contributing to this energy unit that's going to allow me to go out there day in and day out to fight for my goals and my dreams. Going out into the world, man, it's a battle. It's a battle. You're gonna have things coming at you. If you're not mentally and physically prepared to go the distance in that, you're gonna throw in a flag early. And when you have goals and dreams big, you can't be willing to throw in the flag early. You got to go in and fight and grow. But I know if I go to the gym and get it in, I've created a win for myself. And if I can win early in the morning, I know I can win the rest of the day on anything else, because I control that. I control what I put in my body. I control what I put in my mouth, and I'm controlling what I can control. In mental health, that's a big thing. Being in a good mental space, and a lot of it has sometimes too who you surround yourself with. Sometimes you have to get rid of people that don't serve your purpose, and a lot of times those folks that don't serve your purpose can weigh on your mental health. I mean, think about it. We all know somebody who's negative and draining. What kind of mindset or state does that put you in? It takes you away from your goals and takes you away from whatever you're going after. And so removing that and focusing on your positive mindset, positive energy, that'll help with your mental health. The other thing I say about mental health is a lot of times you get down and I'm gonna say depressed when you haven't achieved something. And a lot of times what that is you have more in you that you just haven't achieved, so you're coming down on yourself. So how are you keeping commitments to yourself? If you're keeping commitments to yourself, then it's hard to be mad at yourself or disappointed. Building a business is not a cakewalk. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for folks who aren't willing to put in the effort. when you're building a business, you have a lot of sacrifices. A lot of times you're sacrificing time, money, and in some cases relationships. And I say sacrificing time. There's a lot of times I want to be doing a lot of things that I would rather be doing versus doing what I should be doing. Whether it's a game or whatever that case may be. I mean, there's times I had to leave the house and go to work when I wanted to stay there with my family and my son. But I knew that I had to get out of the house and go to do what I needed to do to contribute to what I was driving for, my why. And I'll say sometimes you have to give up something in order to get what you're going for. What are you willing to give up to get what you're going for? And I'll tell you, for example, I had to give up comfort in Raleigh to come to Charlotte because of an opportunity. Comfortable for 24 years, but I had to give it up to come here to continue focusing on my goals. So getting outside your comfort zone. So I always ask myself and tell people, what are you willing to give up? Sometimes that what you're giving up is painful. I had somebody tell me one time, sometimes you got to give up some things that you initially prayed for that now no longer serve you. So sometimes that's relationships, sometimes that's people, sometimes that's material things, whatever that case may be, because sometimes those assets eventually become liabilities. So my why has changed a little bit. When I first started when I was contemplating starting a business, my why was I didn't have a son. My why was I'm gonna go out there and start a business, make a bunch of money and whatever. Those things are still in play, but the why is bigger than that. I have a son and a family, and family counting on you to do the right thing so you can provide and create opportunity and everything. So my why is get up every morning to know that people are counting on me. People are counting on me. I've been put in this position for a reason. The man upstairs put me in this position because he knew I was capable and ready to do this. So I can't let folks down or people down that know that I'm in this position to do it, whether it's my son or my family or whatever the case may be. And so I get up every morning knowing that I need to go out there and do it. So, but to kind of go back to what my original why was, also too, I want to create a life of freedom. I want to create a life of freedom where I can do what I want, when I want, as long as I want, with who I want. And I know that if I'm controlling my own destiny and creating those opportunities and creating abundance for myself and the folks around me and the opportunity, I know that that if I'm helping those folks win, that I'll eventually win and get to my goal. So, just being able to set goals and go every day in and day out for those goals is really what drives me. And those at the end of the day come back to, family and family, friends and things of that nature that are pushing you. So the business today is, we just did roughly $30 million this past year, and we're 26 people. It did not start that way. It did not start that way. Actually, it was myself and my senior vice president. So when I was working for this other company, before I started my business, my senior vice president, who's currently my senior vice president now, we were working for the same company. So when I said, hey, we want to start this business, she was like, yeah, you can do it. And she actually joined me for free. She believed in the mission and vision and to come and work. And so it was just two of us in a room that you can barely move around in. So it was two of us, and then we went out and got work. And then so we had to add people on to execute the work. So we just kept organically growing the business and adding people and adding systems and putting processes in place to continue to grow it. And those fundamentals that we started with still carry us today, because it's the blocking and tackling that really got us started. The blocking and tackling that's keeping us going. We're the size we are now, but our growth plans are going to double that in very near future. And it was a humble beginning. Don't want to go back there, but it was a big lesson learned to where we are today of how to be scrappy, how to be nimble, how to be efficient. But it's always good to look back to see where you started to where you are now, but also to say, look how far we've come, but look where we can also go. And to see where we are now, to bring on other people in the organization who can get us to the next level. Because I always say, when I started the business, I was good at one or maybe two things. But there's a lot more to a business than one or two things. So you got to bring people into the organization that are very good at all these different areas so that you can help you grow your organization. And that's where we are now, bringing like-minded people who are smarter than I am and smarter than we are in these areas, so we can grow our business and to do that.